My favorite meal, probably sushi, which you know, you probably have to go out to eat. But I also like ramen. There are lots more, but basically, when I go back to Japan, I try to eat those first and get that out of the way. My mother, she was really good at making sekihan, which is like red bean rice, and you know, she's passed, but I remember eating that a lot because I grew up in a temple, and so she, I think, made one of the best sekihan, and I remember people who usually didn't come to the temple would come during Oshogatsu or New Year's just for that. And so that's something I remember. Another thing I like is kare, which is a Japanese way of saying curry, curry and rice. And this is something that I could probably eat every day. Yes, my father was a missionary for the Nichiren Shu, and he was sent to Honolulu. And so I went there with my mother a little bit later after he was appointed there. And so that's basically where I grew up. So it was, in those days, we had a lot more issei and nisei, and I kind of grew up, you know, with their support. So, and my mother, you know, really didn't need to learn a lot of English because it was that cloistered, small Japanese community, you know, which she kind of associated every day with. So it was that kind of atmosphere. I am a linguist and translator. So when I first went to Japan, I went to study, and the only people that my father knew were fellow priests. So he asked one of his good friends to take me in, and in the beginning, I was studying a lot about Japanese culture and the language, but very soon, because I was at the temple, I started beginning to understand what my father was doing, and what I had been doing in Hawaii, you know, as a practice, started to take on meaning. And that's when I decided that, yes, I'd like to try to become a priest. Well, I am impartial to poke, and there are a lot of poke places here in Portland. And, but admittedly, I think a lot of places try, but they get pretty close. There are other things like, you know, kalua pig, chicken long rice, and poi, for example, which when I do go back, I try to eat. I think there's another thing. There's a very popular local restaurant called Zippy's, and they make this special chili on rice, and that's something I think of all the chilies I've tasted is one of the best. Yeah, okay, Ikoi no Kai. Kai means group or association. Ikoi is someplace where people can feel comfortable and get together. So, like a shelter. So, and I think this is a perfect name for it because it's someplace where people would get together and can really be themselves and feel comfortable and absorb all the good vibes that everybody around them is giving up. And so Ikoi no Kai, yeah, it's a place to assemble, a really safe and nurturing place. I was really impressed that that everything was run by volunteers mostly, and the food was just excellent, and the people here, I think they're all very friendly, and I think after a while coming here, I feel like I don't have anybody at home. It's just myself. So it's a place to feel like you're with family. My family's over in Hawaii, so I feel really at home. Once I started coming here, I see the value of Ikoi no Kai as a genuine place, and going forward, I'd like to support it as much as possible.